I think, guys, if you know a thing or two about SEO, so you will know that this type of article, which has been just pasted into WordPress, and it's just pasted into WordPress directly out of my workflow on the Yoast SEO plugin, that it shows you like, okay, how much of them are good, what needs a bit of improvement, and if this kind of article is being produced, it is for sure that your AEO and SEO would be boosted if this type of articles are being generated on your website. So yeah. Okay, so yeah. Hi everyone. Okay, yeah. So full disclosure, this is my first video ever, and I've been spent 15 years behind the keyboards, building complex systems and working on a lot of coding-related stuff. But this is the first time. So talking to this tiny circle, I would say, like the camera, is much more terrifying, I would say, than debugging, my code and everything. So yeah, let's start. Okay. So yeah, so the problem statement. I'll start with the problem statement. The problem statement is that the AI content is that a lot of my clients actually come and say to me that the AI content generated from with the AI is a lot of time failing. AI engines as well now. So AEO and SEO, the content generated by AI is not normally considered that. So, honestly, they're usually right because most AI is just generic fluff. So, okay, so now while I'm a technical guy, like most of the projects and AI pipelines that I have spent 13 years working on, basically I have always worked with a SEO team, and a lot of people on the SEO teams I have got, when you hang around with the people long without learning, their art. So I think you'll be naive to do that. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that I know exactly what SEO specialists look for, especially in terms of what type of content we need to generate. So the SERP intent, the systematic keyword, and the like a humanized work, or maybe article that is actually worth reading, right? So how they actually do it. So I decided to that like I would stop the complaining for my clients and build a system, AI system, or you can say a automation system which actually works. So yeah, that being said, let me actually directly jump into it. That what we are trying to do over here is that like we'll be generating a content which will be SEO friendly and can be copied and pasted to any HTMLs or even WordPress or somewhere, and it's just going to give you all the takes on the SEO level. And I'm going to be demonstrating that in this video. So yeah, let me actually jump in and figure out how to give you guys a cool video. So just to show you like how it works is that like I'm going to have forms over here which actually has the keyword, the niche, country, article format, and writing tone. So let me actually maybe like Google glasses. That's something which I'm actually looking for, and what I'll need to do is that like this is the place which I was saying that I have worked with a lot of SEO guys, and they know like which category or niche to work on. So this is really important. So at the moment I've given only limited amount, but yeah, of course we can always enhance it. So I'll go with directly with technology and X-ray vision, maybe something like that, so maybe give it a bit of difficulty, so and yeah, health and wellness, maybe something like that. And the country, not important. Article standard, like what type of article we are looking for, again an important factor. So I would say just a standard blog post for now, and then there is a writing tone of how we need to actually handle it. So yeah, I'll just do a friendly one and then submit it. And yeah, so it has been submitted. So what happens now is that I have a content pipeline which actually adds like a whole list, like what if there is an article, what type, what person to respond to. Google, it's a Google sheet, and then I'll come back to all of these parameters later. Right now, I'll try to quickly wrap up the video. So okay, right after this is done, I'll be receiving an email, of course. Let me see. Yeah, so you can see this is an email that I have received, which says, "Hey, we have received your email, Extravian, blah blah blah." Yeah, tone friendly. So this is what we need, and then of course there is a drive, but yeah, that part comes later. But yeah, so the email has been received, and now in the meantime, when this actually works, let me actually directly jump into my whole workflow. So I basically have two workflows right now. So this is the first workflow, and I'll be explaining to you guys a bit. And this is actually takes an entry point, which is of course right now the Google trigger form, and that's being taken. And then like I'm actually doing all the pre-processing, like taking the data, what type, like all of those keywords, arrays, and all of that. So you can see like process keyword, raw countries, which was not selected by us, by the way, niche, number of articles, blah blah blah. All of that is being taken properly, formalized into a JSON format, and then it is actually being sent for retrieving the keywords actually, and then it's basically I'm using SERP API, and those of you who does not know, it's Google API for the latest trends and everything, and right after that, the main part actually comes over here is that like we are checking the score. So basically there is a trend score that is actually set, which tells like how much score it is, and if it is what we are doing is that if it is more than 55%, then it actually is eligible. Otherwise, it's not eligible. So because content generation actually is money, it requires some credits. So and that like the number of tokens being used for one article is around 7,000. So we are not generating too much articles only on the basis if it's not worth it. So it actually depends upon our trend score and a lot of other scores as well. So that's why like it is, you can say, stop over here. Oh, by the way, in the meantime, you just saw like the article being generated and coming over here. So yeah, that's good. But let me actually quickly dive into the whole process, and maybe I'll just open those nodes which will be more effective and which will be more understandable. So if the score passes, which I just told you how it does, then we are going to go to our workflow too, and I'm going to show that as well, and then send a message that yeah, this passed. So and the message the email you already saw that yeah, this has already passed, and we are actually working on it, right? And if the score fails, we'll just append it into the sheet, which the sheet I just showed you, this one. Okay, quickly jumping into our workflow tool, which is the main workflow. So let me start from here. Is that like whatever data we are going to receive, we are actually parsing it, properly filtering it, and we are actually getting it in a proper JSON format. And what we do over here is that we actually send it to the SERP for research purposes. As I said, SERP is basically used for getting top ranking content, patterns, content gaps, a lot of that. So we are actually using SERP API for that, and whatever SERP returns, what we are doing over here is that we are getting all the results into the SERP. Now, someone who is working in SEO would know a lot of these words like competitor analysis, outbound links, and related question, and why that is actually important, then related search, things to know data. These are the kind of things that we usually use for SEO purposes to get a better high rank article which actually has a value, right? So a lot of those things are being properly formalized, and then send it into a JSON format. Now the next step is the first step, I would say, in my whole process is that like we are actually generating an outline on and for generating an outline I am actually using ChatGPT, and for that I can actually show you like how formalizing the knowledge graph, serve data, and how we are actually getting the whole organic results. So here's the main thing, how it says like, okay, so you can see like we have a pool of searches that we actually use to combine with our prompt. So right now you can see like the prompt is like we are actually setting the style, like how you want to do it. We are actually training our AI engine, or you can say like when we are actually sending the data, we are not sending a random data, we are sending a trained data. So to actually generate some organic results and slim down all the searches rather than getting the whole list of bunch of data, I'm just trying to do a good prompt engineering. So that's what I'm all doing over here. So for example, you can see over here is that, hey, title, select a style. What style it is, from where it was actually coming, was that when like we selected the style over here, like article tone or article format, right? So and yeah, and basically that whole is sent as a request body, and then that is actually being sent to our GPT does its thing, and then it sends a response back, which we are for over here of course parsing, and that's nothing much more parsing over here. And then on the basis of that, now what we are doing is that like we are now outline is generated, now the content is being generated, and that again we're using GPT for that, and for a lot of things that actually depends upon our prompt that I showed you, that the detail and the depth of the prompt from where we actually generated the whole data via SERP, via different parameters. that is now being sent back to us, and we are actually formalizing it into a proper H2, H1, a lot of that, because this is really important in SEO. So we need to get all of those structure ready. So this is what we are actually trying to do is over here is that like getting the structure of the whole article and a draft to be properly displayed. By the way, let me actually show you what was the output just in the meantime, rather than me going on and on about it. Let me actually show you like how it will look like. So this is the drive where my article would be uploaded. And this is also something which you will be seeing in the workflow, that as soon as it completes, so it actually goes and uploads the file over here. I'll be coming back from the humanization layer, but yeah, so this is how it's going to send you an email, and then this type of format is going to be sent. Don't be scared. It's a proper format, because I needed all of those H1, those meta titles, those description, which is really important for us. And if I download this one, I'll just show you how it actually happens. So like I'm opening it up, and you'll see that this is the whole article which is generated with along with an image, right? Image is also being generated. It's all AI. Yes, folks, it's all AI. So, and then you can see the backlinks, you can see the titles, H2, H3, the references, the graphs, and I'll come back to this one in a sec. Let me actually quickly work on it, and let me quickly just show you like where I was. So yeah, right after that, what we are trying to do over here is that we are going to humanize the whole content that is being generated. This is a really important step of our, you can say like the whole article writing process, because here when a lot of people were actually failing. So what we are trying to do over here is that we are going to give an instructions on the basis of the type of article or the format of article we have selected. It was a how to guide, listing, product review. So you can see all of those prompt engineering being happening over here. And right after that, what we are trying to do is that we are going to give that same amount of data and the generated article back to our to the Claude. This time we are using Claude for humanization layer. Anthropic is really doing well, so we are using Claude, and we are using Claude Sonnet 4 engine for now. And even you can see like I'm actually defining the maximum amount of tokens that I need, and the temperature that should it be very much near to pros and cons, or it should be just neutral. So yeah, that's also what I'm setting over here, and it actually matters, right? So right after that, you'll see the article format, the tone, the instructions that we have to send, and then the whole article is being sent with the humanization rules. That's one of the rules that I know, and of course I'll be improving it with the passage of time. So once that is done, we are sending it the data to the Claude. It actually extracts the humanized right after we receive it, we extract it, and after extracting, the next step is that like we are doing the on-page enhancements. By the way, those were the enhancements that you just saw on this one, like this particularly backlink being added, a title being generated, proper keyword being used twice. All of that is being properly formalized, I would say, on this particular step, where we are actually adding the SEO requirements, and we are optimizing it, you can say. And this time I'm also sending it again to our GPT, so to the whole process, and actually send me a really optimized article, which actually is proper with the proper tags, HTML. Like for example, you can see over here all of the alt text that I'm getting, the descriptions, even the image descriptions, and the slugs are being added. So all you need to do is copy and paste it anywhere, and that article is ready, a whole SEO ready, producing a feature image as well. And this feature image is also really SEO optimized image, which I'm trying to generate. Secondly, over here you can see that I'm using the Delta engine over here for the Claude, and I'm just defining the size, which is also within the guidelines of SEO, and the quality, the base 64, all of that is being used over here to generate this particular article. Right after that article is being generated, I just showed you like image is being uploaded, file is also being uploaded to my drive, and this is actually my drive. You can see over here the image is being uploaded, and then the articles are being uploaded as well, proper articles, right? So that being said, this is pretty much it for our first draft. I hope you like it. I know you will have questions. I will try to produce series of other AI, other videos as well, which will help you understand what happens. Oh, by the way, let me show you the best part. The best part is that like as soon as I actually copy everything over to any of my you can say like anywhere on my WordPress. But basically, I use WordPress a lot. So if I do that, you will see immediately see, of course, why it needs improvement is that like because it requires me to add proper slug, proper meta description. That is something which I'm still working on. But like the main thing is the readability. And if you see readability over here, is you will notice that everything is on the good level, which is I think a big achievement. As soon as because you can see outward links, images, internal links, single titles, blah 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 blah. Everything is there, and even these ones are in my version 2 or version 3 would be addressed. And I think my whole goal is that like on Yoast SEO or any other SEO plugin, when my article is being generated, everything is green, and you will be able to work with that. So I think this would be the best thing that I can actually produce. So I hope you like it. I know you will be having a lot of questions. Please shoot those questions. I'm available, and then yeah, we can take it from there. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Bye bye.